What's up? Oh, wait. Wait, just a quick funny before we get started. I've been watching these sovereign citizen videos on YouTube, wherever the hell that is. And I tell you, if you want to see some dumbassery, watch these idiots. Once once they know they're going to lose the argument with the cops, you know, they always bring up, You're violating my constitutional rights," while saying just before that they don't follow a constitution because they're sovereign citizens or whatever. But they're just a bunch of another brainwashed liberal nutbags. Anyway, on with the show. Woo! All right, what's up, everybody? It's me, Robbie Bobby, from the Robbie Bobby Podcast, and thanks for joining me. It's been a minute. I know. Beautiful Jen and I are doing very well with everything going on, whether it's stuff going on in the world and the country, which is just getting out of hand. But her and I ourselves are doing great. If you all seen us on Facebook, we did get to go to Rock the Country with Kid Rock and Jason Aldean. Her favorite, but it was a great time. It was great. It was another sober concert where I wasn't drinking. It was awesome, and again, can't thank myself for that, and of course the beautiful Jim, and all of you, my family and friends, and everyone that loves me. But we're gonna get into it. There's something else I was gonna say, but I don't know. We're gonna get into it. So, with have y'all noticed? It's been going on, but especially after President Trump announced his run for office in 2015, of how most rich elitists and rich politicians, Hollywood and all that stuff, especially the Democrat Marxists, and a lot of Republican turncoats for that matter, they just loathe the idea that someone that wasn't part of the in crowd was even considering running for such a high office. Someone that's never held political office, the career corrupt politicians, Washington elitists, all came together, both sides, to stop an outsider who they saw, and rightly so, I might add, saw someone as a threat to their power, a threat to their control over the American people, you and I. They knew for decades, I can speak for myself, especially on this, that Americans, like myself, thought a businessman or woman would be and could do better than them, seeing how majority, if not, especially on the left, has never had an actual job. They've been in politics. They went from high school, college, politics, and that's all they've ever known. So they've never made a payroll, so they don't know what that is. They've never been responsible for anyone but themselves, and really not even that, because they live off of us. And this, their attitude, smugness for those quote unquote beneath them. In the words John effing Kerry, the commoners, as he called us, caught that on tape. Wish I had that. I probably could find it, but you believe me. So he, like Bernie Sanders, is a great example. Both of them too. I mean, I got thousands of examples. They're all in Washington, but neither of them has had an actual job, has actually worked in their life. They spent majority of their lives living off the American people. And John Kerry, well, he just simply married into money twice, but the last marriage, the Heinz family, to be exact, yes, the ketchup company, great ketchup till I've found that out. His wife, a heathen banshee, if the world's ever seen one, Teresa is her name, just thinks anyone beneath her is just garbage. And just, they've all been caught on tape. Of course, they deny it. We have a Nancy Pelosi tape coming up where she's denying that, and we have it on tape. Now, some of y'all might say, but Robbie Bobby, Me, John F. and Kerry was in Vietnam. He served, man. He'd been places and seen things. Yeah, about that. If you remember, and some of you Utes out there may not, Swift boat controversy in the story, there is a book about it called Unfit for Command. And it's all about John Kerry's pathetic time tucking tail and hiding while his fellow soldiers and the people next to him and under his leadership, quote unquote, they were taking enemy fire, and this low life coward, as he still is today, just took off running. All these accounts are covered in the book, and as well as outside sources as well. You can go to them. Now, of course, he denies running from gunfire or shooting himself. True story, where he received an undeserving Purple Heart. Purple Heart is a medal, for those you don't know, that's reserved for real heroes that get injured combat. And but he's a scumbag, so he doesn't deserve it. And you may also remember when he came home, joined the anti-war movement, and he testified to Congress, fueling the hate the left already has for our military service members. If you remember how the Marines that worked under or in the White House when Clinton was there, how bad Hillary Clinton, that one lady that lost to Trump, treated them just despicable and disgusting. And Kerry, I also compared our soldiers to Genghis Khan. It's war, bad things happen, but that's not our military servicemen and women are back then or today. And you also had Dick Durbin, the Democrat, Illinois. Who else was in? Okay. He compared our soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan to Russian gulag guards. And I'll leave it at that because that's how it is, like it or not. And you can always look it up, which I always say do, but I do thank you. Man, it's good to be back. And we all know about Bernie as well, elected as mayor in a small town when he's running on like 26, I think. This guy honeymooned in the USSR. Yes, old socialist Bernie. The guy, DNC, bought him another mansion. Like, I think he's like 5 or something. Might be only 3. Well, it doesn't matter. 3 mansions, extremely rich, billionaire. And they bought him, the DNC did, so he would drop out. So Hillary, here it comes again. So Hillary could lose to President Trump. God, I love saying that. But again, remember, this is the same rich, liberal, socialist, self-described, so I'm not making it up like I never do. He's the same politician that screams about the rich not paying their fair share while being rich and not paying his fair share. Kind of like Al Sharpton screams about racism. It kind of hand in hand right there. Al Sharpton helps the Democrats keep black people in poverty so he can get rich. And being another rich Democrat doesn't pay his taxes neither. So, might add that night. Now, we can go on into other stories and about many other politicians from both sides, because I'm an equal opportunity offender here, that somehow on a public servant's salary that they have gotten extremely rich being in office while having nothing really to offer other than their connections to Washington. James Biden, or Jill, ring a bell, people? I'm sure it does. Or how about Pelosi, which we're going to get to that. Feinstein, Obama, the Clintons, of course. Harry Reid, remember him? Yeah, that idiot. Connell, Graham. And again, we're talking about career politicians and how they look at us commoners. Question. You out there. You in the back. Not so many. Now, how do you think after what we have seen, let's say the last 8 years, looking at the political climate of today, and from the media talking heads on no matter what channel, because they're all rich too, and they all like, oh, I'm so uppity, I'm in the media, and I'm rich, whether it's Fox, CNN, whoever these people are, they're all talking heads, they're all experts on nothing. Now, and we see all sorts of allegations from both sides, left and right, about the other. However, as I see it, we see citizens arrested and jailed crimes that they haven't committed. Yeah, and a lot are still there. We're going to touch on that. And then we see people encouraged and allowed to commit crimes and are given a pass or released from jail with no charges or whatever the case may be. We even had Kamala Harris, that one lady, advocating to donate and support Antifa and BLM terrorists to help them get out of jail. And these charges included rape, murder, arson, destruction of property, rioting, arson, and some on federal buildings. Because remember how bad the Democrats and them two idiots, turncoats, I'll get that in a second, how they were just like, oh my God, federal building, like people come in, they're protesting, and this, that, and the other, it's a riot, da-da-da-da. And they arrested all those people, yet for 5-6 years now, we've seen riots that burned down complete neighborhoods, mostly black neighborhoods and black businesses, causing billions of dollars on federal buildings. Not one arrest, not anybody. And, we just had, this is another story about how this is going and what they want you to see rather than what's going on. There's a story out about the 8 foreign terrorists. I think they went to they split up once they were allowed in. LA, Pittsburgh, and New York, I believe, is where they ended. The 3 groups ended up. They're all connected to ISIS. Now, they all crossed Biden's open border. So that's another reason why we probably should close it. And the reason why he did that is to allow these people in. And how many more do you think they've let in intentionally since they came into office and opened the border? And, I'm only presenting the facts here, and any of you can look this stuff up and see for yourself. But I do thank you for listening to me and allowing me to tell you how I see it and have a good time along the way. Now, speaking of crimes and getting away with it, old Nancy Pelosi admitted on tape, I heard it and I'm going to play it for you, that she was responsible for security on January 6th. That's right. The Speaker of the House, which was her at the time, oversees security for the House. Now, President Trump, being awesome like he was, loving the military, offered the National Guard for January 6th that day because he knew it was going to be big. It's going to be big, especially with the shenanigans that we saw in the election and all that crap. But her, Pelosi, and that whacked out dingbat Mayor Bowser, every time I say that, I think it's Sha-na-na. Look it up. And they both refused. Now, after the sham J6 hearings and how that committee caught destroying evidence that, it didn't fit their narrative, so that's why they destroyed it, Clinton. And this is where the committee where Pelosi handpicked the turncoat Republicans, Cheney and Kinzinger, look it up, which both have been censured, and rightly so, for their roles in the sham trial. And both along with the rest of them sham committee members need to be jailed for their own sedition and acts of treason. But, of course, Pelosi, liberal Democrat, California, her district being San Francisco, riddled with violence and drug addicts and poop on the streets. Yeah, San Fran Poopsco. Shitsco. Yeah, something. Now, except for her neighborhood, of course, where she lives safe and above the tracks and above all that, and she doesn't have to see it and denies that, too. Now, again, she is denying this. Don't believe your lying ears, folks. Roll it!
Responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had...
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing where they've already breached. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. Should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, they asked National Guard. Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with? Inaugural stuff. That is not a question of how Capitol Police. They don't know. I mean, the National Guard. Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with? For not having them just prepare for war.
Now, believe you me, every liberal media outlet has circled the wagons and will continue to promote this lie that that's not what she meant and that's not what she said. Again, don't believe your lying ears. You just heard the damn tape. And the brain dead idiots, the few that do watch these state-run media outlets, are going to believe it. See it every day. It's kind of like the Russian hoax. You would be surprised how many these liberal moonbats still believe that Trump colluded with Russia, despite the evidence. And, the Mueller report and all this. And, okay, they don't believe the fact or the facts that I have presented to them and to y'all that it was Hillary, the DNC, and the attorney's office there. Oh, man, I can't. But, again, look it up. They paid Christopher Steele. He was an MI6 agent at one time. Lousy. Blah, blah. He was a person who wrote Tish's report that was unverified, then unverifiable, and pretended that he had knowledge of then candidate Trump and others in his campaign, colluding with Putin to rig the election, which we found out they did try to rig it, but not for Trump, but because they were working with Hillary. Now, again, it was Hillary that was caught colluding with Russia. It was Hillary that was caught deleting 30,000 emails, classified documents, after being compromised already, and not one of them has ever been charged, like Biden. Now, you have Biden's handlers that were put into office, because we all know. His DOJ, Department of Justice, comes after not only President Trump doing what they actually did, but other citizens that threatened to expose D.C. corruption. We have the sham hush money trial where President Trump was just found guilty on 4 charges. Ridiculous. The Fulton County fiasco with Phony Willis and the other false allegations. She's the one that hired an incompetent prosecutor, Wade, I think his name is, and had an affair with him. Of course, blames everybody else when she got caught. If you look it up, but you watch her on the stand, she's just despicable. These are all bought and paid for prosecutors, Bragg, Phony Willis, and, all these other prosecutors and DA offices by George Soros. And we're going to get into that as well on a different podcast. But less, it's like Matt Colangelo. This guy, he was ranked third person in the DOJ that unexpectedly left that lucrative position with Merrick Garland's office. He's the head of the DOJ. And then, surprisingly, he goes to Alvin Bragg's office in New York. Does any of this seem right to y'all? Now, don't forget the Biden's handlers refuted allegations that they were communicating with Bragg's office. But again, does any of that seem right to you, that someone from Biden's DOJ goes to the prosecutor's office that just happens to be prosecuting Biden's handler's biggest opponent, and the one person that not only beat him in 2020, proven, but will again a second time. Now, thanks for joining me right here on WJRC. We got more to come, but, we're going to get out of here for today, let you all digest this, and hopefully y'all go look this up. Like, damn, Rob Biden's down it again. You preach, brother, preach. Something. Now, before we get here, we'll roll this tape with these sovereign citizens, man. Again, watch this tomorrow morning when you're listening to this in the executive there, if y'all know what I'm talking about. And, paperwork. Oh, real quick, though. Welcome, ARC family. Bootsy. That's right. I had named it after the beautiful Jen because that was her nickname, or still is. her nickname, when her and I first met, and when we met again, that's how I put it in my phone. So, but again, beautiful guitar just like her. Nice too. It's going to be seen in my next video. And and again, thank you all for all the likes and the views on the YouTube channel for the other song I did, Eric Clapton's Wonderful Tonight, and which I kind of changed it up and did it my way for her, what she likes me doing. I have another one coming out. I'm not gonna say what it is yet. Actually, I got two, but the next one coming out, the song's already done. I gotta do video. It's gonna be featuring Bootsy. Love it. It's on back here, and along with the family. I like that. Anyway, check these idiots out on Sovereign Citizens. See ya.
Sovereign citizens believe they're above the law.
That is, you do not have to have license to drive a car.
Yes, you do.
No, you do not.
But what happens when they try to outsmart no-nonsense cops who are ready to serve up the hard truth?
You're under arrest. Open the door. Step out. You're getting hosed. Step out now. Step out now. Step out. You're under arrest. Step out of the vehicle now. Step out of the vehicle now. OC.
Here are 4 cases of this, starting with this very annoying sovereign citizen.
Lane violation.
No, that's not a crime.
Yes, ma'am, it
No,
is.
it's not. You don't know case law.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
You're in trouble.
Who was pulled over for a simple, improper lane change, but ended up getting punished for a whole lot more.
Those are crystals.
Because it smell like it.
Listen, what he's got. He thinks that's crystal meth.